This was Neo's 345th experiment to extract the consciousness of a fallen soldier and implant it into a robot's brain. When the robot woke up, it became agitated, unable to accept its appearance, and began self-harming. To prevent it from going out of control, Neo forcefully pulled the plug. The 345th experiment ended in failure. Neo's boss warned him that the experiment was too costly, and company executives had lost hope. If there was no progress, the project would be shut down. After work, Neo went home and borrowed a boat from his colleague, Ed, to take his family out for a trip. On the way, a truck narrowly missed them, and a tree fell in front of them. The impact pierced his wife's abdomen with a branch, and Neo couldn't brake in time, causing the car to plunge into the river. When Neo woke up, he was the only survivor, and his family had forever left him at that moment. Devastated, Neo came up with a bold idea. He extracted his family's consciousness and returned to the laboratory, planning to clone them. Neo asked Ed to bring the cloning pods home, but there were only 3 pods, meaning Neo had to give up one family member. He wanted to decide by drawing lots, writing his wife and children's names on paper and asking Ed to decide. Ed refused, telling Neo he had to make the choice himself. Neo drew his youngest daughter's name, Zoe, and had to give her up. They immediately began the cloning process, which would take 17 days. After setting up the data, Neo had to delete all memories of Zoe from the other 3 to avoid complications. As the embryos grew daily, Neo faced the challenge of transferring consciousness to the cloned bodies, given the lack of successful experience. When the 17 days were up, they had to open the pods, otherwise, the embryos would grow beyond their current ages. Ed opened the pods, and Neo's wife took a deep breath but had to be forced back to sleep as she was an empty shell without consciousness. The boss called to inquire about Neo's progress, and as Neo instinctively held his wife's hand, the monitor reacted. Neo realized that the failure of the previous 345 robot tests was because the human consciousness couldn't recognize the mechanical body without human organs, leading to fear and self-harm. However, the cloned bodies were fully functional, avoiding this risk. Neo began with his wife's consciousness transfer, and soon she woke up, recognizing him. The son's and elder daughter's consciousness transfers were also successful. The family returned to their lives as if nothing had happened, with the wife unaware of the missing family member. She went for her usual morning jog, but soon experienced severe abdominal pain. This movie is called Replicas. If you're interested, check out the original film.